Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A groundhog, emphasis on ground, in a tree. So that's pretty neat. Like I said, I've seen it once or twice before, but it's been years and years ago. So I have no doubt a little turkey's down in here eating some of my food plot, probably soybeans, but looks like actually a lot of the buckwheat's getting browsed on now. That's good. I know my last video down in here, I was kind of knocking buckwheat because I haven't really had much luck with deer browsing on it, but guys, I may have to eat a little crow here, because by God, I think almost all of this buckwheat's been browsed on. There may be a couple that haven't, but my goodness. Yeah. So I take back what I said about buckwheat not being worth planting if the deer aren't going to eat it, which I stand by that for anything. If the deer aren't going to eat it, it doesn't necessarily serve much of a purpose as far as providing nutrition. But yeah, they've been hammering down. I know I've gotten a lot of pictures on my SpyPoint Micro here of deer out in this plot. I'll go ahead and switch it off so we don't take a bunch of pictures of me. Nobody wants to see me. I'll probably break the camera. But yeah, so I mean, look at this. I might have to stand corrected on my comment from last time, guys. Other properties I have planted this on and stuff, I haven't seen much browse, but yeah, they are definitely eating the tops off of it. So good. I'm pleasantly surprised. I'll happily eat some crow. I don't like planting stuff that the deer aren't going to eat. In my mind, it's a waste of money and time, but they're eating it, so that's fantastic. But anyway, kind of got sidetracked. I am going to get this plot cleaned up today. I'm going to get these logs taken out. I might girdle some of these trees to the south to let a little more light in. As we all know, late summer and going into fall, the sun starts to come in from the south, and sunlight is definitely needed to grow food plots. But I don't know, we'll see. I had done some hack and squirt to that cottonwood there. I don't know if you can see, but a lot of the leaves have started to turn, and actually a lot of the leaves have come off of that tree, so it is working. And as a reminder, that was what was that, a 50-50 mix of triclopyr and Tordon RTU. And I do about a hack for every 2 inches in tree diameter. So it's been probably a month, I guess, since I did that one. But yeah, you can start to see the signs. It's deteriorating slowly. And like I mentioned in previous videos, it does take time, especially for these really big trees. They don't just die in a week, and different species are a little more susceptible than others. But yeah, so I'm gonna get started. Got the chainsaw with me. I'm gonna get this thing cleaned up, get these logs out of here, and then I'm gonna plant it. It's August 8th. There is think an 80% chance of rain tonight, and then 50 something percent chance tomorrow, Monday, 40% on Tuesday, and then 50 something percent chance on Wednesday right now. So it is a little early. August 8th, I normally wait till about the last week of August, but with my schedule, I don't know when I'll have time to get down here and plant if I don't do it today. And plus, like I said, it's, August 8th. We're less than 2 months out from bow opener here in Illinois. This is one of the more, what's the right term for it? Susceptible spots to human intrusion. It's kind of hard to get back in here and hunt without at least busting something. Doesn't mean it can't be done, and it actually is a very good spot. So I usually try and leave it alone until that last week of October or so. And historically, this spot really comes to life that last week of October, last week to 10 days, especially if you get a cold front. I know we always hear on, social media, TV shows, what have you, about cold fronts in late October. But this spot, and I'll throw in some pictures here to make sure you guys believe me, but mature bucks hit this spot pretty regular during daylight in late October. I've got one scrape that's been here since I've owned the place, since before I owned the place. I put in a mock scrape last year that the deer took over. I mean, they immediately took it over, and they're still using it this summer. So I think I'm going to put another mock scrape in today. And it is a little early for that, but like I said, I don't want to come back in here and disturb anything. So I'm going to go ahead and do that while I'm here. Freshen up the other two scrapes, and then I'll get my cell cameras positioned on at least two of those scrapes. That's essentially how I track this spot, by the scrape activity. Once I start seeing mature bucks hitting those scrapes in daylight, which they will every year late October, I'll slip in here. It has to be hunted on a northwest wind, but I'll slip in here and hunt it, and hopefully make good on it. But anyway, that's the plan for today down here in the bottom. I'll let you guys say peace out to Mr. Groundhog here. He's just hanging out still. Get a little closer view of him. He blends in pretty good with that hedge tree. And no, I'm not gonna do anything to him. He's not hurting anything right now. And I don't have a gun. So, but no, he's fine. Like I said, I don't have very many down here. And to see a young one like that, I guess that's a testament to my predator management plan. I took out a bunch of predators last year. Plan on doing the same thing this year. When I get 4 coyotes, 2 bobcats. I actually caught 1 bobcat right down in this food plot here. Unfortunately, this county does not have a bobcat season, so both the ones I caught had to be released. But the 4 coyotes did not. Caught and released 1 red fox. I caught 30 raccoons, 11 possums, and a skunk. Yeah, that skunk was pleasant. If any of you guys have ever trapped before and caught skunk, you probably know what I'm talking about. But anyway, yeah, predator control, it's very important. as you increase the carrying capacity and the quality of your habitat, all the animals benefit from that, including the predators. So you need to keep that in mind. So we got to keep them in check, especially those nest predators. They will decimate turkey populations. So, all right, guys, I'll show you what the finished product looks like, but I got to get to work. I got a lot to do and not enough time, and it's a warm one today. All right. All right, guys. So this is as good as it's going to get for today. I am flat wore out. What I did is I went ahead and broadcasted my seed, and then after I was done with that is when I started working on cleaning up these logs. And basically I took the chainsaw, cut them up into sections, and then I took my Ranger and hooked up to them and drug them out. So as you can see, all the buckwheat, peas, and soybeans are pretty well smashed down. There's a lot of bare dirt showing, which is fine. These oats, wheat, and brassicas will germinate fine with a little bit of rain. But with driving around and dragging these logs out, that essentially was the same thing as cultipacking or rolling, whatever you want to call it. So a lot of the seed got drove over or ran over and pushed down. So should have pretty good seed to soil contact. What doesn't, there's enough bare dirt showing that when we get some rain, hopefully tonight or in the morning, it should cover that seed up just right and get good germination. So this is about a 1/4 acre, and it's wheat, oats, dakan radish, brassicas, and turnip mix. It's actually mossy oaks, deer plot, and then I had a bag of their tall tine tubers from last year. So I mixed a little bit of the tubers in there and broadcast it, so should do good. It's October 8th. It's a little early, just only a couple weeks, and like I always say in the fall, I'd rather be a couple weeks early or a couple weeks late if I can get it in just ahead of a rain, because these rains in the fall can be so spotty, and if you can get your seed in with a couple of decent rains shortly after and get that stuff growing, it can hang in there for a while, especially when you're doing no-till like this, because you got some stuff covering the soil and it helps hold in the moisture, especially down here in a bottom like this. It stays a little bit cooler, the soil stays a little more moist, and you can see all the moss on top of the ground, so it stays fairly moist down here. All right, guys, so that is it for the food plot. We come over here and show you the mock scrape I put in last year. So I've got this little oak that I'd hinged several years ago, and these branches were about 6 foot, 7 foot off the ground, which is just a little too tall for a good scrape tree or a scrape branch. So I just took this piece of rope, tied it back to the trunk like that, which pulled the licking branch down to, I'd say the bottom is right at 5 feet, which may be a tad high, but it's not at all out of reach for them. It actually produces some pretty good pictures because a lot of them will stand up on their hind legs to hook that licking branch and then come down with it in their antlers and really work it. So it's pretty entertaining. But so what I'm going to do, I guess I left it back here at the Ranger, but I'll show you guys what I use for mock scrapes. A lot of guys are big into, what is it, the Smokies deer lures. I tried this stuff. It is Rack Rub by Code Blue, and it's a gel. Let's see, what does it say? Apply scent to Code Blue, single drag, and trail into your tree stand. Well, I'm not big on drag rags and stuff, but this stuff does work phenomenal for mock scrapes. I used it last year on several, and it was amazing how quickly the deer took them over. And these weren't existing scrapes. These were completely man-made. I pulled a branch down like this one, tied it off, scraped off the dirt, cleared it a little bit, and put some scent on there, and the deer just took it over, and they've been using it ever since. So I'm going to put a little bit on this one, and I do have one of their scent wicks or scent holders, and I like these because they're flat, they're real narrow, but they expand when you put the liquid on them. And being a gel, it sticks really well to that. But you can put it on the branch, you can put it on wick, any number of things. So I'm going to just apply some to the branch here and get one of my cameras hung up. And then I've got another scrape down there, down the path about 50 yards. I'll do that, and then I'm going to go down over here about 50 yards and put another mock scrape in. So basically, if you can see through there, I've got my box blind, and I've got this mock scrape. I'll have that scrape down there, and then I'll have one down here. So it'll at minimum, it'll most likely have a buck stop and check one of these as he's coming through, and give me an opportunity at a shot. A lot of times, if they're moving fast, and especially as thick as this bottom is, it can be hard to get a shot. So having scrapes like that, they're bound to check at least one. And I've had bucks come through and circle and check them all. So